Good morning. It's a business daily again right here on Trust TV. I am Yusuf Akogu. Of course, it's Wednesday, and of course, it's day 2 of the new administration in Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his vice Kashim Shettima, of course, resumed work yesterday at the presidential villa here at Aso Rock in Abuja here. Interesting development there following their inauguration, of course, especially from the capital market side. The capital market closed positive yesterday, recording a very huge gain. The first time ever since the market was started trading, 5.22% it ended yesterday. That was the first single day gain from the stock market since it was it started trading many years ago. Interesting development there. Investors, indeed, confidence were actually renewed by the inaugural speech of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He made some policy pronouncements. Of course, most of those policies were actually pro-market policies. And of course, that has actually drawn investors down to the market, and they are playing across all the sectors of the market. Of course, interesting development we saw there from the market yesterday. Of course, in the coming days, a lot of issues are expected to be unfolded by the new government. Welcome again to Business Daily. Now we take our top trade, our top business stories. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. Now we go straight to the stock market and, of course, give you the figures and, of course, update from what happened on the floor of the market on Tuesday. And then we start from the, of course, the all-share index, like we told you earlier, recording about 5.22% in at the close of the market on Tuesday. And of course, a very huge addition. The over 2,700 basis points were added to the all-share index yesterday, and of course 1.51 trillion naira were also added to the market capitalization on Tuesday. In terms of volume of trade, over 1 billion volume of trade actually exchanged and yesterday worth 15.799 billion shares were actually exchanged hand yesterday. In terms of deals, 9,915. And of course, if you look at the gainers table, you have the likes of Zenith Bank, Transcohort, and of course Nigerian Breweries dominating the activity chart, all of them gaining 10% across board. If you look at in terms of the gains in naira, 29 naira 70 kobo, 8 naira 25 kobo, and of course 42 naira 35 kobo respectively. On the losers table, you have the likes of Ikeja Hotel down there 10% in the negative territory, and of course you have NCR National Cash Registry also down 9.80%, and of course Tantalizer down 8.0% as well. Of course, in terms of top trades, we have the like of Access Bank, of course, FBN, and of course, Transcorp Nigeria, all doing great yesterday. A lot of activities in that sector, 200 million, 120 million, and of course, 95.7 million yesterday. A lot of gains there by these investors, the likes of Dangote, Tony Elumelu, and of course, other stock investors gaining huge amount yesterday. In terms of trade across sectors, we have all of them closing in green. Of course, what will you expect? You see the banking sector standing strong there, 8.20%. The industrial sector also there, 6.08%. And of course, consumer goods sector, 6.48%. Oil and gas, 4.04%. And of course, insurance, 2.29%. The market across Africa are also not doing badly as well. Of course, with the exception of GSE in South Africa that closed negative 0.73%. Of course, in Nairobi, Kenya, the market closed strong 2.01%. And of course, USA down there in the East Africa, Uganda closed strong also 0.26%. Interesting development there from the market in Nigeria and of course across the continent. Quickly, let's join Charles Fakroga. He joins me via phone from Lagos. Good morning, Mr. Charles. Okay, I understand we're trying to get to Mr. Charles to give us updates of how the market is faring this morning. Of course, given what we saw yesterday, we expect that the market will also remain in green today. Well, that is left for investors to decide. But if you look at the reaction that we are getting from the Tinubu inauguration, President Tinubu's inauguration 2 days ago, it actually made some pronouncements, of course, that are actually interesting to investors. Some of those pronouncements are like the president did say that he's going to unify exchange rate, which is something that many investors have actually been clamoring for a very long time. The issue of fuel subsidy is also part of the statement that he did make that day, that there is no provision or budgetary provision rather for fuel subsidy in the 2023 budget. Therefore, fuel subsidy is gone and gone for good. So there is quite a whole lot of reaction to that. Of course, if you go to the streets, a lot of people panic buying here and there. There's ignorance on the part of Nigerians. They should understand that there is still provision for fuel subsidy till the end of June. So there is no point for motorists and, of course, the independent marketers to start hoarding fuel and make things difficult for Nigerians, of course, at this time. So we hope that will seek in, and then the hardship being experienced by Nigeria and, of course, the artificial scarcity being experienced across the country will actually come to an end within a very, very short time. Though we go on a very quick break. When we come back, we'll go into our discussion. And today we're looking at agricultural sector. The new government is in. What will be the agenda that the farmers will want him to focus on? When we come back from this break, okay, before we go on a break, I understand Charles is back on phone now from Lagos. Charles join me from the stock trading floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange in Lagos. Good morning, Mr. Charles.
Good morning, Yusuf. Thank you for having me on your show.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on Business Daily this morning. Tell us, we saw a huge rally yesterday in the market. Tell us what is responsible for this.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
We saw a rally yesterday in the market. Investors apparently reacting to market policies made by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What can you tell us about that? We take a very quick break. I think we are having difficulties in getting to Charles there. We take a very quick break. When we come back, the show continue. Don't go away.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Glad to have you back. It's still Business Daily right here on Trust TV. Now we delve into our discussion proper. And we're looking at agricultural sector. A whole lot of policies were actually introduced by the former president, Muhammadu Buhari. Well, we will look at how that policy has impacted on the sector and, of course, what the new government need to do to improve this sector. And I have joining me in the studio the president, National President, Maize Association of Nigeria, Dr. Bello Abubakar. Glad to have you on Business Daily.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Yusuf.
Yes, always a pleasure having you. The last time we were here, we actually promised our viewers that we'll continue the conversation,
yes.
And we are glad that you are back here. Let's start from where we stopped the last time. We were talking about some of the policies that were introduced by the former government now, the Akon Borans program, and quite a good number of them that you talked about. We talked about the repayment plan. How well has your members done in that regard?
Okay. Well, once again, good morning. In our last discussion, I was explaining about the issue of the loan repayment, especially in our area of Maize Association of Nigeria. Actually, we have gone far and we have done our best, because this is a loan given to the farmers, and there are some other issues regard to these payments or associated to the payment, especially the challenges that I have mentioned earlier about the issue of natural disasters in general, and so on and so forth. So apart from that, despite from that challenges, we have paid over 50% from our side, because I have mentioned it even last week, last time, that we even like first week of this month, we have paid over 1 billion naira to Unity Bank, which is something that is ongoing. It is ongoing, and the tenure of the loan is just 6 to 9 months, which I have already complained that a farmer is supposed to be given a minimum of 3 years to pay the loan. That's what the other countries, developed countries, are doing to the farmers, because it's a loan as a support to support them, to increase their production, to increase their yield, to give it better life in their business. So the issue of the recovery, it is something that is still ongoing, and from our side we have gone far and we have done our best, because wherever you want to, if you want to investigate about the issue of the Ankobora program with regard to the commodity associations, I'm sure you'll get a very good result, good report about MAN or Maize Association from all the organizations. So all other organizations or associations are doing their best. I'm sure they have done their best.
Now, despite this incentive, this investment by federal government, there seems to be food insufficiency for Nigerians. So what do you think? Do you think this has really in any way worked? Well,
it has worked. It has worked very, very well. Because if you look at when this Ankobora started, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, up to 20, there is no insufficiency of food security or food in Nigeria. We have provided it, and the production of food commodity has increased from all angles: maize, rice, sorghum, everything. But
the prices have also increased as well.
Even that time, the prices didn't increase. That's why last time I was trying to explain, but there was no time. Because if you look at it, the prices up to 2020, the prices are moderate. a privileged less farmer and other less privileged people can afford to buy. But the prices now started increasing from 2021. Why? Because there is a global issue, not only in Nigeria, that affected the food prices, not only in Nigeria, all over the world, not only issue of food commodities. If you look at other essential commodities, even here in Nigeria, everything has doubled the price. Look at the building materials, spare parts, clothes, everywhere. It's not only the food. So, and again, where you can see the impact of the Anchor Borough program during these 5 years, before 2021 to 2022, there is increase in food production. There is food security because we provided the food sufficiently, abundantly during the COVID-19, during the border closure. There is no any problem. And then again,
Doctor, some Nigeria may not agree with you that there is food sufficiency,
no,
because
there was,
some say the program actually performed below expectation.
No, it has performed well, because that's why I'm trying to give this point out. Apart from the production, look at the other food manufacturing companies like rice processing mills. How many do we have now in Nigeria? Maize processing plants, how many do we have? So many of them. Even in Kano State only, we have over 60 rice mills, over 20 maize processing mills. And then if you look at the other inputs, fertilizer, agrochemicals, there are so many fertilizer blending plants constructed during this tenure. Why? Because there is a demand because of the production. So it is during 2021 to 2022. And that time, the CBN has stopped giving the loan to the farmers through the commodity associations. There was no funds that was given. That is why there's a shortage of food commodities during that time. And also there is, if you can remember, if you may recall, there was a massive flood in 2021 that affected all food crops, not only rice, not only maize, all over in this country. That one also affected us.
Absolutely. Doctor, moving on now, the new government is in place. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken office, and now he did spoke about agriculture at his inauguration 2 days ago. So what do you think he should do? Do you think he should continue along with this program, some of these programs that started from the last administration? Well,
it is something that they have their own policy. We too, we have provided our own, even submitted as our own suggestion for those that they will improve the farming activities generally in Nigeria. In any kind of policy or program that is going on by the government, when there is a change of government, there may be a change
of policies.
Of that policies. But despite from that, it is something that it has to be looked critically and holistically. What are the success of this program? What are the challenges? Compare and contrast. Then from there, you take the one that will be good. So now, actually, for the Anchor Borough program, there is some challenges like all other policies or other programs. So, but the success has to be looked. So from there, they will now take the one that will be good. But as far as the government want to support the farmers to continue their production and their farming activities smoothly, so there is a need for, apart from the loan, there is need for providing the grant in so many ways, not in cash but in kind. Maybe the inputs, fertilizer, seed, agrochemicals, so on and so forth. Absolutely. Especially the area that we have a serious challenge. That is the area of mechanization. So,
all right, Doctor, if I should just read some of the plan of the new government, the president did say that he will create agricultural hub throughout the nation to increase production and engage in value-added processing. To what extent do you think this will help the sector?
Well, it will help as far as it has planned well and as far as it will be implemented in a very good way. Because the problems that we are facing in Nigeria, sometimes you will see that there is a good policy, there is a good plan for the program, especially in agriculture. But in the process of implementation, you will have problems. Why? Because the people that are assigned to take charge of the program or to implement it are not supposed, or they are not the people that are supposed to be there. So that is why always it's good to take somebody that know what is in the system to implement it. So this
not to engage political farmers.
Not the issue of the issue of farmers are not the one to implement it. They will assign some other people to.
But it's good to have people with farming background or farming experience.
Of course, that's what I mean. The people that they have the experience, they are agriculturists, real agriculturists, real farmers. So then, if they can get them, I'm sure it will be implemented well, and the farmers will now benefit from what they are going to do. So the issue of providing these agricultural hubs, well, it is something that will be good to the farmers, and this is part of what we also advise or what we have in our working plan to the government. Because as far as you will get this kind of these hubs in maybe in a local area, local government area, at least a minimum of one. So if the inputs will be provided there, the farmers can get it at a subsidized rate.
Right, exactly.
Can get it at the right time. Can get maybe support technically, maybe the extension services.
Absolutely.
Can get the support from mechanization. That one will help.
Doctor, you did say that you've made your suggestion to the president already. What are some of those suggestions that you think the new president can implement to improve agricultural sector?
Well, it is something that I'm explaining now. In our own suggestion, the issue of the finance is there, because if you look the category of our farmers, we have small scale holder farmers, intermediate, that is the moderate, then the medium, then the large scale farmers. All this category of farmers, they need assistance, they need support in one way or the other. Because if somebody is cultivating 1 hectare, if he has another support, maybe he will increase it from 1 to 2. If somebody is cultivating 10 hectares, if there is a support financially, maybe he will double it to 20. Somebody who is cultivating 100 or 500 hectares, if there is support, he can double it to cultivate 1,000.
They are also concerned that some people, when you give them support, instead of them to channel it to the proper place, they use it to invest in other things.
That is why it is good to have a practicing agriculturist farmers, that they know the real farmers. If we are talking about the issue of agriculture, it is something that you have to start it from the grassroots, so that you will know the real farmers. And the real farmers, there is no way that you can support a farmer with any little of input to divert it to somewhere, because it is something that he needs. So they will appreciate if they can get it. So that is the area of the finance. Then issue of the inputs also, as how I have said earlier, if there is a support or a support in terms of grant that is in kind of the input to the farmers, it will also assist them. So, and then also area of mechanization, area of technical aspect, that is the extension services, which is the most important in agriculture. So these are the 4 key areas that, as far as the government will concentrate on this, I'm sure you will support the farmers, and the farmers will perform very, very well, and you will see the result.
Absolutely. Dr. Bello Abubakar, National President, Maize Association of Nigeria. I must thank you for your time on Business Daily today. Interesting contributions you have made, and I hope that the President will actually look into some of the suggestions you have made and, of course, improve agricultural sector, and, of course, probably will actually achieve the food security that we have always been craving for. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf.
Yeah. And with that, it's a wrap on Business Daily today. Join us tomorrow for more. I am Yusuf Akogu.